So this is a very simplified version of the messianic genealogy from Adam to Jesus. It's just more of a straight line than my previous thing, but you can just see Adam basically went from Seth to Noah, then when Noah had Shem and went to Abraham, and then Abraham had Isaac, who had Jacob, who had his 12 sons, but the Judah, the 12th son, or one of the 12 sons, was the messianic bloodline through Jesse to get the king of David. And then, of course, David had Nathan and Solomon, and both of their offspring eventually resulted in Mary meeting Joseph. Even though Joseph wasn't blood related to Jesus, he was supposed to be the stepfather of Jesus and Jesus' brothers. So, but if we look more specifically, I mentioned earlier how the Levi strain of Jacob, the Levi offspring of Jacob, is much larger than most of the other sons. But we can also see Moses right here. So Levi had Kohath, who had Amram, who had Moses. So the Jews, because Moses was so special, they thought the messianic bloodline mentioned constantly throughout the Old Testament would have been through the bloodline of Levi. But as the New Testament specifies, Jesus comes from the tribe of, or the lion of the house of Judah. So of course we see Judah had Pharez, who had Ezron, who had Ram, who eventually went to Jesse, then to David, of course. And then the two David offsprings once again were the same bloodline to be connected with Jesus Christ's birth. So what I also didn't mention in my last video about this was that this is the end of the bloodline. This is it. The whole history of the Jews was about race, in a sense. It was about bloodlines and being connected to the original 12 tribes of Jacob. Okay, so in a sense, Christianity, after Jesus, he was the last bloodline. He was the final lamb to be sacrificed, and he represented the end of bloodlines, okay? And a lot of these Illuminati reptilian people, like Bushes and the Queen Elizabeth and all that, they're coming from these offsprings. And so we know Adam had Seth and Cain, but Cain was evil, but Enoch wasn't evil. He actually was the first person to be raptured. He was literally just raptured into heaven. So it's very interesting what predestination means, even if you're part of an evil, quote-unquote, bloodline. But anyway, after Jesus, it's all about your soul. And, the non-physical is what saves you, the spiritual. So obviously it doesn't matter what race, color, creed, gender, whatever you are, as long as you know the truth, then you'll get the truth, okay? Only if you have an ear to hear or eyes to see are you going to understand this kind of stuff. But anyway, the whole point of Christ was to get rid of bloodlines, whereas the Illuminati believe in bloodlines and reptilian stuff, and we hear that the English royalty is basically related back to Vlad and Dracula, okay? So it's all connected in a scary way. But with Jesus, we all have hope if we are predestined, But you don't know if you're predestined unless you're actually interested in this kind of stuff in the first place. And then you change your heart afterwards. It's about becoming a different person. And personally, my YouTube channel is all about that. I went from 2012 New Age astrology only to Jesus. Like, I started reading the New Testament after 2012 when nothing happened. Right exactly when I was introduced to the Groxt, okay? So it wasn't even that long ago if you think about it. 8 years is nothing, okay, in a spiritual development. Anyway, nothing's been disproving this stuff lately. It's all confirming itself. Later.